Hi and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about hot water heaters because yesterday
we were in hot water because we didn't have any hot water.
Exactly. We turned the faucet on and there was nothing there. And it really showed us real quick that you need to be handy when you're RVing. So we wanted to show you guys how we troubleshot our hot water heater down to about $11 part. It saved a lot of money. It was quick and easy and simple. We want to share that with you. And we also want to share with you the fact that we haven't done any maintenance on our hot water heater. How long?
A year and a half, and I had no idea there was any maintenance on a water heater.
Well, we procrastinated, and we'll let you see exactly what it looks like to not do your hot water heater maintenance for a year and a half. So stay tuned and let's get started. All right, Pam, behind you, which one is the hot water heater and which one's the furnace?
So, as I understand, and I remember this from the winter time, is that when I'm standing outside, I'm right here, I'm nice and toasty. So that's the furnace. Oh, nice! You can stay warm by the furnace. How great is that? Now, this one never really gave out a lot of heat because we had the electric water heater, which heats from the inside, I guess. But now that we're using the gas one, you can feel the heat coming out of here too. So that is the water heater portion. Right here, the door.
Go ahead and open it up.
The infamous. And that's where my story ends. I have no idea. Okay. So, pretty intimidating when you don't know what you're looking at. What is this for? I'm not gonna lie, guys, I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. All I know, it's not working. Alright, so I put together a list of questions that I always had, but I never really had a reason to ask them, if that makes sense. And one of them, why do you have both a gas water heater and an electric water heater? I always had that question. I usually just turned on the electric one because it just seems like the easiest one.
Right now there's two different types of water heaters. There's your suburban style and then there's your Atwood style. But both of those versions are very similar. So you have your gas portion and you have your electric portion. Both of those are individual circuits, or they're individual systems as part of that tank. And they can come in 6-gallon, they can come in 10-gallon, they can come in 12-gallon.
Another one was, how are they connected? Like if one, for example, breaks and you take a part out of it, you know, is the other one still gonna work? So I'll throw that at you because I have no clue.
That's actually pretty fair. How are they connected? They're not. They're actually independent, and it's for a good reason. The gas portion runs off of 12-volt DC, and that's perfect for when you're boondocking or you're running off your batteries or you're out in the middle of nowhere. You don't have to have anything but your batteries charged and your gas portion will work just fine. But when you actually use your electric portion, that changes everything. Your electric portion actually runs off both your 12-volt and your 115-volt AC. One of the fallacies that people talk about is you can only use one or the other. In actuality, it's designed to use both at the same time. And I know for all you guys out there, half our viewers are like mind blown. What do you mean you can use both at the same time? That's what they're for. So it'll heat up faster with both the electric portion and the gas portion running at the same time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So I could have, the whole time, I could have turned that on when the moment we stop at the park, hook up, I could have turned them on both so we have it within like 5 minutes instead of 30?
Yeah.
Wow, that would have been nice to know.
Yep. So you can hit electric and gas, and each independent system will run at the same time.
So another question I have, I'm turning on the panel, on the command panel that we have in our rig, I turn on the electric water heater button. How does that work? How is it communicating with the water heater?
So that right there is one of the main reasons why we wanted to make this video for you guys. When our water heater broke, the first thing we did was we went online, looked at a bunch of YouTube channels, looked at a bunch of how-to videos, and tried to see if we could find something to help diagnose our problem. And that's what we want to show you, because right after this, we're going to start jumping into troubleshooting our water heater, and I want to show you exactly the process we took, and hopefully that'll allow you to save time and money and any of those maintenance fees, because believe it or not, what fixed ours is probably an $11 part. And if you know how to troubleshoot your system and all you do is go on Amazon and order an $11 part and put it in, you've saved yourself hundreds of dollars. So that's what we're trying to show you. But as you're going through this system, when you hit that switch is actually sending 12 volts to this panel. And that's where the magic happens. Once you determine whether you're using gas or whether you're using electric, once you hit those buttons, 12 volts passes through and comes down here. And that is where we trace the 12 volts to see what's going to happen. Essentially, when you hit the electric button, what it's doing is it's going to a relay, and that relay is saying, do I let 115 volts go to the heating element to heat up? Yes or no? So every time you hit it on, it allows it to go through, the heating element heats up, and everything's good. If you turn it off, it opens, no more live electricity going to that heating element. When you hit gas, same thing. It's going to send 12 volts down to the board, and then it's going to start monitoring and saying, do I want to open up the gas valve, let the propane in, and then light it? That's what's happening. And though each of those are independent, therefore you can use them at the same time.
Okay. Learn something new every day.
Yep. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into troubleshooting our rig and let you guys know exactly what it took to fix ours. So let's hit it. If you guys don't have a multimeter in your toolkit, I highly advise that you guys get one. But for here, we have our multimeter, and we're going to go ahead and turn it to DC, because the first thing we want to check is DC and make sure that we have good power coming in from the batteries to this area, because that'll bypass the circuit breakers and everything else. And one of the things that we want to talk about here is anytime you're dealing with electricity, make sure you have a partner. Make sure you have someone with you, because you don't want to be messing with electricity by yourself. If you're doing any kind of maintenance in this area, turn off power to the pedestal. All the shore power is gone. Turn off the circuit breakers. Make sure that you have your protective equipment, either safety goggles or whatever you need, and be safe out there using this. I'm not a professional. I used to work avionics in the United States Air Force. That was a long time ago, so I'm not saying that I'm certified, but I kind of have an idea of what we're doing. So for all you guys out there, I'm going to be showing you how to use electricity, how to measure it, but I am not a professional. If you don't feel confident, please call a mechanic out there and just make it easy for yourself. But I do want to show you exactly how we did it, and hopefully that'll help you guys. When we started this, I had no idea anything about this entire system. And one of the first things I went to was this section down here. And I'm pretty sure that any of these units should, if it's new enough or if it hasn't been damaged, there's actually a schematic down here. And that schematic is what I used and what I followed to troubleshoot our electrical system. And it was pretty straightforward. Once you have a quick understanding and once you have an orientation of where the parts are, the rest is kind of pretty easy. So what I did first is I looked at this schematic and I tried to make sure that I knew where the power was coming in. And that's where we started. So using Pam's phone, I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to go to the BM Pro app that we have and the ability to turn on and off the electrical and the gas portions of the water heater. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the gas just to show you guys what's going to happen when it's fully operational. Once you turn it on, there's going to be a slight couple of second delay, and then it's going to kick on. And that clicking noise that you heard was the igniter. So these are the sounds that you're looking for once you hit that gas button. And then to turn it off, that's it. Complete shut off, nothing's going through, everything stopped at the switches upstairs. We're not getting the 12 volts. If I measure from this red wire here that comes out of this portion here, which is your emergency cutoff, that circuit right there, if I came to the red wire and I measured right now, it would show 0. But the moment I hit the switch and I turn it on, I get the 12 volts. The circuit board understands that it has everything good, all the connections are good, there's nothing preventing it. It's going to go ahead and open up the gas chamber. Gas is going to come through. That's what the pause is for. It's going to start clicking, ignite the gas, and then boom, it's going to be on fire, and you're going to start heating your water heater. A lot of the times it's the control board that's bad. Now that runs you about 80 bucks. You can go on Amazon, double check the part number. You can take these 2 screws here off, pull the connectors off, pull this portion off, and you're done. But before you do that, there's a 2 amp fuse right here where I'm pointing. Right underneath these connectors, there's this little 2 amp fuse. And that 2 amp fuse, check that first. Make sure that on that control board, put your meter on there. Let me show you how to do it real quick. Put it to ohms. And then put that on both sides of your fuse. And that reading right there, 0.03, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a 0.01 to 0.05, something like that. But when I take one end off, it's open. And that's how you're reading it. Make sure that that fuse right there is good first before you change anything on the control board. So with that, one of the first things we're going to check in this area is actually up here on these connectors. There's 2 connectors, and don't worry, one's bigger than the other, so even if you pull these off, you're not going to mess it up when you go to put it back on. The connectors are pretty straightforward. The smaller one is the power coming into this area. The bigger one are all the grounds. Measure your power right here on your white, and you have 12 volts, success. You don't have to worry about any of your breakers, you don't have to worry about any of your fuses. Everything's coming straight down here, so now you know it's in the panel. So the only way for power to get from that connector, the smaller one on top, to the bigger connector with all the grounds is actually pretty simple. It's going to come in on the white wire, and to get to the other connector, it's going to go through the brown wire, and that brown wire goes right here to your thermostat. And your thermostat is what regulates that temperature. So all of the 12 volts is going to go through that thermostat, it's going to go through your thermal cutoff, and it's going to come down here to this bottom brown wire. So a quick tip, all you really have to do if you don't have anything happening or you have issues is go ahead and take your black lead, put it on the ground, take your red lead and put it right here on that brown wire. And I have 12 volts DC. What that's telling me right now is that I know I have 12 volts going through the thermostat, through the thermal cutoff right here, and all the way to right there. The only other thing for the electrical system after this is going to be on the back side, and that's where we have a relay, and that relay is going to click back and forth, and that's going to allow the 115 volts to go through and power the heating element. And that's where we're headed next. All right guys, when you come to the back side of the water heater, this area right here, this is the housing that's going to cover and contain your relay that's mounted right here, and underneath this and behind attached to the actual water heater is the heating element. So we're going to go ahead and disassemble this and pull this apart so you guys can see what's behind it. So the relay is right here. Right now the only thing connected to it is the actual 12 volts DC. So here I've got my green common wire, or my ground, and I have my yellow power wire. And that's the same yellow wire from outside that we've already measured the 12 volts DC, so that we know the 12 volts is good outside and it's coming here. Let's check it out. All right, so just like before, we're gonna come back to the relay. There's nothing on it. There's just the yellow power wire and then the green common wire or the ground wire. So these two portions here, this is actually what we're gonna be looking at. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from DC to ohms. So right now, by putting the leads on both pins, when we turn the system on, it should read right through. Just like that. So let's check it out. So right now you can see, as I turn the system on and off, nothing's going through this relay. And you can hear the relay clicking and energizing, but it's not letting anything through. All right guys, we just checked it and confirmed that the relay is bad. We turned it on and off, it doesn't work. We're gonna go ahead and swap it out. Pretty simple and straightforward. Show you how it's done. So, I don't know if you guys can see this. I turned the housing around backwards so that you guys can see how the relay mounts in. The relay just kind of slides in and out with these little wings here mounting inside there. So it just kind of, put it this way, kind of just slides in just like that. So we're going to lock it in. That's there. Now we're going to go ahead and wire it up. So right now everything is hooked back up. We've got the ground wires and the power wires hooked up. Everything's good. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick ops check before we button all this up, just to make sure that everything works. So here on the BM Pro app, we have our gas and we have our electric. We're going to go ahead and hit the electric. We heard the click, and now it's going to start heating up. And if you guys can hear that noise, that's the actual heating element heating up in the background. But just to make sure, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and measure the 115 volts. So here, we're going to go ahead and turn it on. We're going to go to AC. And we're going to double check just to make sure everything is there. And there you go. Now we know that the relay is good. The relay is letting the voltage go through to the heating element, and that the heating element works. So success. Now we're just going to put it all back together. So the last part of this effort is going to be the maintenance.
I have no idea what to do next, but I do have to give you one tip, because we are dealing with a hot water heater. I actually let all the hot water drain out in the sink inside, so that if I open this, I have no idea what to expect, how it spews out or whatever, so we don't burn ourselves, right?
Great point. Make sure you guys understand that what's coming out of this is scalding hot. So the first thing you're going to need to know is when you open this, when you take this anode rod and you loosen it up and pull it out, water's going to come everywhere. It's going to come out all over the ground, which is actually one of the reasons why we haven't done this yet. We actually talked about it. We bought all these jugs of vinegar, and we said, okay, we're going to dump it in. We're going to make it. We're going to do great things. And what we found is it stinks so bad that you guys can relate to this. Our neighbor would kill us if we fill this entire tank up with vinegar and let it sit overnight, and then right before we leave, undo it and let it dump all over the ground and then say, see ya. So we said we can't be those people. We're not gonna go and dump it all over the ground. Plus, it's not great for the plants and the grass. You know, we want to be respectful. So you have to make sure you align it to where you do it the night before you leave, and then swing by the RV dump site, and that way you can dump it right there where everything's supposed to be dumped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what we said we were going to do. So we got the vinegar, we got the right anode rod. So now we're ready to do that maintenance. But we wanted to show you guys that, yeah, we fumbled the ball pretty much on this entire maintenance process. And truth be told, how long have we been RVing before we actually are starting to change this?
That's true.
So on camera, it's been a year and a half.
I keep having excuses. I'm like, but honey, I still have to take a shower, and we're doing all the breakdown, and I'm all sweaty and dirty. Yeah. But I guess we can go to the bathhouse for tonight.
That little thing, you'd be amazed at how many excuses you will put on yourself to not do it. So hopefully we're showing you how easy it is, quick it is, but definitely don't dump vinegar all over the ground for your neighbors.
Yeah.
It's just, guys, it's horrible. It stinks.
Yes.
All right, so let's get to it.
Okay.
All you need is we're going to take this, loosen this, and back up.
Yeah. I don't want to get sprayed.
Oh, you're definitely going to get sprayed.
So I need to get back, right? Okay. So how do you tighten this?
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Hold on. I got to think. Lefty loosey.
That's tight.
Oh. I'm scared. Okay. Huge tip. When you do your water maintenance, water heater maintenance, there's 2 steps that you cannot miss. Number 1, turn off your water heater. I think it's a good idea to do it the night before you actually do the maintenance. That way you know in the morning that there's no scalding water left in the tank. Number 2 is the water pressure relief valve. Pull this so you don't have any water pressure, because you're about to see what happened to us. Ooh, ew. Ew. It got all over me. What is this? Oh. We've never done this before, so I'm just gonna try out if I can just redirect it like this into the bucket so it's not spraying everywhere.
Turn it around.
Oh, hold on. Success! Oh yeah, by the way, I can't take a shower after this.
You can take it with vinegar.
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing. I guess we'll just have to do a little cat wash today. But yeah, I have no idea what's all over my pants. I hope it's not dangerous.
Well, just remember, whatever's on your pants is what you've been taking a shower with for a year.
Oh, it's just gonna say the same thing. Ew! No wonder my skin is dry. How many gallons are in this bucket?
That's a 5-gallon.
Oh, shoot.
So you'll do that twice.
Oh, dear. Well, I might as well just let it dump on the ground. We made a lake, bucket number 2, and it's still going. Are you sure this is a 10-gallon water heater? Because this is my 3rd bucket.
I'll tell you what, there's measurement right there.
Well, maybe they accidentally installed a bigger one? I mean, I'm not complaining. I was always wondering why we're not running out of water, but...
Okay, did you turn the water off?
What do you mean?
Did you shut the water off to the water heater? Okay. So we're going to be here a while.
I have to turn the water heater? How do I turn the water off?
Well, there's a valve for that. You're basically going from city water through your rig and out into the bucket.
So this is going to go forever?
Yep.
Okay, let's go turn it off, please. Well, I guess I should have known that the red lever in the Nautilus is for hot water. It works. It's empty. I'm done, and now I'm letting Lee take over because I have no idea how to siphon anything. So let's go.
Before we put anything into the tank to clean it, we got to flush out the debris. So Camco makes these hefty, you know, handsome little adapters to kind of stick in there and hose it out. So we bought one. This is the time we're going to use it, so let's do it. And that'll fit.
That's pretty nifty. I didn't even know that existed.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't even want to know what's going to come out of there.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. That's not clear, that's white.
So just remember that you're taking a shower with that.
Oh my goodness. And this is with a water filter. Well, now you know why you put vinegar in it, to clear it all out.
Yep.
Now we have clear water coming out. So, I mean, it took us a good, how long do you think you've sprayed it? I think about 5 minutes.
Yeah, at least 5 minutes.
Yeah. So now that it's all clear water, we're gonna go ahead and siphon in the vinegar and leave it overnight and then dump it at the dump station in the morning. So. Yeah, make sure it's tight. Now, I was totally skeptical with Lee about the whole vinegar in my water heater, but after I just saw what came out of it, yeah, vinegar. Definitely happening.
So for all you guys wondering, all you need is a 50-50 solution. So as long as you can put just a couple, you know, I'd say 3, 4, 5 gallons of white vinegar into the bucket, pump it in there, fill the rest full of water, and leave it there for at least 24 hours. I would say the minimum is 4 to 5 hours, but definitely overnight like us. We're just gonna do an overnight, fill it up tonight, go to bed. As we're pulling out tomorrow morning, get it off the rig, get it out of the system, put it into someone else's, you know, dump.
System.
Yeah, and try not to splash it on us when we do that. But yes, definitely, you know, use the bucket. So let's go ahead and get it done. So quick tip for pulling stuff from a bucket into your tank. Go to Winterize Mode and ignore the whole bypass valve, the red bypass valve, because we actually want to go into the tank. When you winterize, you don't want to pull in all that winterizing fluid into the hot water tank. So it's designed to bypass that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to ignore that, flip it the opposite way from what the chart shows, and then when we pull this in via the pump into the tank, it'll fill right up and you're good to go. All right, so here's Winterize Mode. We've got the white, we got the blue, the red, and the green. So that's Winterize Mode. Now, do the opposite. All right, so we have the line hooked up from the bucket to the inlet, and then from the inlet, we have everything positioned opposite from here for the red valve. And now we're going to turn on the pump. So now what's happening is the system is pulling from this bucket into the tank.
So now that we used the bucket to put the vinegar in to siphon into the tank, now I'm just gonna disconnect this little hose, the white one, and put the city water hose that we usually use back on, and it can fill it up a lot quicker than out of a bucket. So there we go.
All right, so now the city inlet or our hose is connected back. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on. And now that it's filling up, we're gonna go ahead and pop this valve open. And this right here is going to let us know when the tank is full and starts to overflow. Woo! All right, so that means it is full of vinegar. We're good to go. So now we're just going to let it sit overnight. So this configuration with the city water and reverse this right here will allow you to run water inside your rig and not use the ammonia filled hot water tank. So that way you can still do dishes or whatever you want and be okay.
Is it a sensor?
I hope so. Right now we're going to open this. It's going to come flushing out. We're going to use this right here. We're at a dump station, but we don't want the vinegar everywhere. So we're just going to put this over it, dump it into the bucket, tip the bucket over, you know, pretty straightforward.
I'm gonna back up just a tad bit because you don't want to get that in your face.
Nope. Here we go.
Hold on.
There you go.
Number 2 is the water pressure relief valve. Pull this so you don't have any water pressure because you're about to see what happened to us. Oh no. Yeah, well, now we got it all over ourselves.
So, guys,
Lots of pressure on it, huh?
I've got vinegar all over me.
I hope it's not gonna bleach out our clothes.
It doesn't matter.
It went on my face too. I'll stay behind the security wall. I wished I would have done that a minute ago because I got it in my hair. Oh, by the way, honey, we're about to drive 6 hours and the whole truck is gonna smell like vinegar.
The issue we're having right now is that this water is not safe for drinking, so we're not going to flush out the tank. We know that the water heater is turned off. We're going to make sure that we put this back in. Before we get to the next park and fill up, we're going to go ahead and rinse that out at the site we're at. So, yeah, keep that in mind. So hopefully you guys learned something from our mistakes. Don't wait 1.5 years to do your maintenance. Make sure you do it at least every 6 months. It's pretty straightforward. Don't wait 1.5 years. Kind of see what happens. So hopefully this helps you guys.
And another tip, maybe don't do it on travel day because we're covered in vinegar right now and we're gonna smell it the whole entire way. So just a thought. Well, that was a disaster.
That was terrible. I'm so glad you guys stuck to the end on that one because who doesn't do their maintenance for 1.5 years?
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully all these tips, tricks, and questions and answers, hopefully this will give you guys great insight into how you can do the exact same thing. Troubleshoot your own parts and your own system down to what, an $11 part? That saved hundreds of dollars for us, you know, not having to call somebody. You just go to the local store, grab a relay, plug it in, and done.
And I just went to a regular appliance store. It wasn't even a RV store or anything like that.
Just downtown in the local area, $11 and you're done. So that was a huge benefit for us. And also, never doing the maintenance before and actually doing it and learning through that process, it was invaluable.
And you were there the whole time. We fumbled our way through it. And it's not like we didn't look it up before or watched YouTube channels about it. It's just when you're in it, you just, you know, kind of get lost in the process. So yeah, this will definitely help you not make those mistakes that we made at the time.
We make a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
But hopefully you guys can learn from it. We don't mind sharing ours with you guys. So hopefully it helps. We had fun. And you know what? With our luck, we'll probably be doing a refrigerator repair.
Oh gosh, please. Let's not.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Did you turn on the microphone?
Yep, microphone is on.
Are you sure?
Not at all.
Yeah, why are you so...
Hey. Hey. Welcome. All right.
I'm Captain Morgan.
All right, I gotta actually. So this is normal height,
Oh. So
and
yeah.
I'm like creeped in a little bit.
What do you want to do?
So I gotta
Step back a little?
use the knees.
How are you going to do that?
I've got shocks. All right. Don't look there. Look there.
That's right.
All right. Don't look there. Look there.
That's what I'm doing.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Right there.
Okay.
Not there.
That's where I'm looking.
Where? Oh, there you are. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lee. And this is my sidekick. Because this is a how-to video and she's having none of it. She's like, I don't even know what's going on.
What's my name?
Do you need a spatula or a wrench?
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Right.
So, the rain in Spain.
Oh, see, I couldn't even say that.
All right.
Falls mainly on the pain.
Okay. Okay.
Don't breathe so heavy.
Don't breathe heavy. Got it.
Well
Look here, Darth Vader. Could you stop wheezing? All right. The gate held. It didn't hit the truck.